I'm Hallie Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. Oh, we love to introduce you to members of our church staff, people from our community. I always find it to be a treat and a treasure. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
Jesus is the rock, and I smell what he's cooking. Hallie, how are you?
Too blessed to be stressed and too anointed to be disappointed. Well, just like Jesus told us to eat the body of Christ, our guest today works on the body of Christ, our very own temples. He's our personal trainer who's so God-honoring. It's my pleasure to introduce Eugene Cordero. Welcome to the program. How you feeling today, Eugene?
Oh, my gosh. I feel great, as always. I feel blessed. I feel a positive. I wish I could work on the body of Christ, but I'm just working on all of ours, and anybody else who's willing to take a walk with me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a run, or a sprint, or something along those lines.
Well, it's really nice to have you on to Gene's. And before we get into the whole sort of Bible-based training that you offer,
Sure.
I want to ask you about your first name. Is it two Genes, as in?
Yeah. T-U, like
two.
it's
Okay.
it's a mix of a Thai name and a pair of denim pants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm an adopted boy, just like
really?
some people we knew growing up, and or we read about at least. And I took on. I knew that I took on the name from my adopted parents, and I really rolled with it because I'm not Thai, but I guess my parents thought I was, and didn't bother asking or checking anything out about my past, which is fine,
Okay,
here we
you
are.
are something, right? Are you something?
Yeah, have you done
Yeah,
23andMe? Do you know what you got in there?
I have. I have the Lord in me.
Okay,
See,
great.
that's
Yeah,
what we like.
And so,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming, two was the Thai part, and Gene's was the
Jean was just that's just the kind of denims that my parents wore.
Oh, I see.
all
It's actually
the
spelled
time.
all the
Got
time.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually in an overall short.
Oh,
Usually
I see.
in an overall short. Both of
I
them.
love
Just
an overall
always. Yeah, just an overall short.
I love
so
an
it's neat.
overall short because
So
you
they
stay
dress-
nice and cool, but you get full coverage of the main body area.
I'll tell you, my dad used to sweat right there in the middle of the chest.
That's right.
Because he'd wear them both up, and there was a time in popular culture where you'd wear one down. He never did it. He always wore them up, and he'd get a line right across where that pocket would be.
Uh-huh.
And did they dress
Anyways.
you like that?
They kept me pretty close to my name. They always had me wear a Thai flag to the point where I was like, I don't know, guys, we should rethink this. But hey, you know what? I got 3 square meals a day, went to school, and I had a good life. So hey, I can't get
Oh,
too
that's
And I
upset
think it's
about it.
unique that you don't wear a lot of athleisure that you always have denim pants on, even when you're running. I see you sprinting on the track and lifting weights in jeans. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I don't even wear the short. I wear a full jean. Usually boot cut, just because they're cheap now. Because nobody wears boot cut nowadays, so they're cheaper. And then I have some room for my calves.
Yeah.
I
So
love
then
that. And you have
barefoot
great
and
abs.
jeans. Oh, thank
Yeah.
you very much. Yeah.
Well, I do want to get into the training thing because what you're doing here is offering Bible-based training. And as
Sure.
someone, who is really into fitness, do a lot of CrossFit, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. You look
do
fit.
wanna-
You look fit.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm right now. I'm just kind of on a 6-week lat package that I'm working on, just blowing
Oh,
out these
wow.
lats for
Yeah.
spring. But
Yeah, you're ready to fly away over here. You're an angel.
Aw.
But I do want to ask, what is Bible-based training, and how did you come up with that?
It's training based off of the greatest book of all time.
Awesome.
We use it to to focus in on our lives. Why not let it focus in on our fitness?
That's right.
Okay.
People are looking for motivation, and the biggest motivator is the Bible itself. So why not? look within the pages, look within the words, and find some workouts in there. And it's easy. I mean,
Awesome.
for a man who walked on water and
Yep.
and had his feet washed and and was able to make meals out of 2 fish into 50 fish or whatever,
Yeah.
for someone to do that, why not use him as our our motivation and our encouragement to get there? Are we going to be able to walk on water? Who knows?
Right.
But
Well,
if you can
and
get
I
light
would,
enough, if you get light enough, maybe you could,
That's true.
well,
And
and
if you go
I do
fast
want
enough.
to, and I want to point out that was I saw you and a group of folks out by the retention pond yesterday.
Yeah.
Is that the drill you were doing? Is actually sprinting into the out across the water?
It's
as fast
called it's called sprinting the seas.
Okay.
We do it every 3 months. It's just it's kind of like a what do you call it? Like a bookmark in your fitness, or like a touch point to see how far along you've come. So every 3 months, me and I do it. I do it with the people I train, because that Bible-based fitness means that you go along with the people that you're training with. It's me and 12 others. I only train in 12. So there's 12 and myself, and one of them usually bails, which is fine. I say one can bail halfway through. Just don't talk garbage on Yelp about me, and they usually do. But whatever, it rolls, and makes sense. So I'm like, okay, well, yeah. So I train 12. Everybody goes out there, and every 3 months we do the sprint into the sea, and we try to get as far as we can before we go right there in the water. So
And,
far,
are you doing that
I've
in the
done
boot
3
cut jeans
steps.
as well? Oh, okay. Oh,
Oh,
wow.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
always
3
in the
steps
boot
in.
cut.
3,
Okay.
always in the boot cut. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get a little waterlogged after that workout, but it's good. It's like wearing a weighted vest, but it's just from the waist down. So I usually do the rest of my workout that way. It's usually weighted pull-ups or something like that afterwards, so I can really use the waterlogged denim, to my advantage.
Well, Two Jeans, I do have to apologize to you because I was embarrassed that I was the one that bailed on your dust kicking workshop when you held that master class based on the verse in the New Testament where Jesus kicked the dust of Nazareth off his feet and moved on. Most of that entire workout was backwards kicking, kind of like donkey kicks. And I bit it too many times falling forward, and I was the 12th one that bailed that day, and I do apologize.
Well, you don't need to apologize. What you need to do is just come back when you're ready. And maybe we'll try it again, because the main issue that people have with those kind of donkey kicks or, kicking up the dust is that they don't keep their shoulders engaged. They feel like they can actually not engage their shoulders and then bend their elbows, and then you just have more dust in the face. Then it gets scary. But, if you start with the warm-ups where you're just, kicking just some light dust and just kind of moving the ground along, and you can feel that gravel, it's good. And later in that workout, you missed it, but we started pushing some rocks around. We usually do we jump over a burning bush
that's cool. That's cool.
And that's usually pretty fun. I try to still make it fun.
I mean, I saw you all rolling a sizable boulder the other day, and that was really impressive.
The crazy thing was trying to get that, we had to get that boulder in front of a hole of a cave.
Right.
And then everybody had to get inside of it, and then we had to get out of there. So it gets a little scary in a way, because it's like, if we're a little too tired or we didn't conserve our energy correctly, we could get stuck in here.
I mean, speaking of Thailand, it kind of reminds me of that soccer team.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure does. Brutal. Thank goodness they did okay, right?
Well,
somebody saved them. I think it was a white man in a movie saved them.
Yeah, that's how it goes. And it was
Yeah.
so
Oh,
inspiring.
I thought it was Elon Musk saved them.
Oh, I
Oh,
think you're
probably.
right.
You're
Yeah,
you're one
with
million
his
percent right. Yeah.
spaceship. But two Jeans, I wanted to tell you, I thought you'd be tickled to know that it was my husband Lance Labont who caught on fire in the burning bush workout. But I went down to Dick's Sports. I got him some flame retardant athletic wear for the next one. You'll be glad to know.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. He went on a full sprint after that, and I was like, nope.
That's
Even
the
though we do a
problem.
Bible workout, it's still you still
Yeah,
have to use the technique of a fireman.
that's
You
right.
still need to stop, drop, and roll, and
That's right. And that
and
was
let
on
it
him.
go.
Yeah.
So that was a little on him, but hey, you know
Yeah.
what? You sign a waiver when you sign up, and I'm not trying to get you into anything dangerous, but I'll be honest. In the Bible, there's a lot of dangerous stuff,
That's
and
right.
Oh,
you have
really?
to
Yeah.
face some real adversity, and and it should happen in your workout. If there's a moment in a workout where you fear for your life, I think you're in a good place
That's right. You're doing it
And people feared for their lives in the Bible all the time,
all the
didn't
time.
they?
all that time. I mean, that's the whole Bible, right?
Yeah.
It's like you might get killed by your own brother
Yeah, that's right.
It's-
Or your father,
or
like
your
Jesus
father.
did. I
Huh.
mean, and yeah,
I did want to circle back to and I'm sorry, just curious about the whole adoption thing. How old were you when you were adopted?
I was 13.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
old.
Yeah.
And did you speak English?
Oh yeah, full English. Yeah, it was funny though. My adopted parents, they spoke to me in Thai, so I had to learn Thai to speak to my parents, just to tell them I don't speak Thai.
oh,
Wow,
yeah.
isn't that amazing?
Yeah,
And how
they're from Florida, huh?
Oh, and how did they end up were you living in Florida at the time?
I was living in Florida at the time. I was working. I was working at Universal Studios as one of the minions.
I love the Minions.
And they had just
I
come.
love
They
them.
had just come to check out Universal Studios, I guess.
You know what? I believe so. See, the thing is when you're 13 years old and you're, and I was in and out of foster care, but ultimately found a good place with a bunch of people who thought it was a good idea for me to work at a young age.
Oh,
Okay.
And at around 8 or 9, I was the right height to be a minion. So I went along and I was a minion for a good 5 years there, and
That's
made
cool.
pretty good money. Yeah.
And so
But then
you're
I
saying-
realized, hey, I need a family. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. And so the Boleros they were visiting on a vacation and were luckily able to pull you out of that situation, which I love. What a great
Yeah. Yeah.
story.
And then they taught me all about Christ, and taught me all about the church, and I was
Oh,
like, wow,
thank goodness.
I might not be Thai, but I like what you're bringing and
Awesome.
tying into my life.
That is so good.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a good
Yeah.
one.
I like pad thai. Now, you mentioned the dangers that are all over the Bible. I think the biggest one is the devil. And I was wondering, do you ever hear the devil whispering in your ear while you're trying to have a Christ-centered workout?
Oh yeah, I mean the devil jumps in to a workout every single time, because the devil's the one that's telling you, stop, you're getting too strong, you're gonna be weak, you're always gonna stay weak, stay weak, you're tired. And you know what? People go, yeah, I'm gonna listen to the devil, and that's when you need to be the strongest, is to
Yeah.
really push past the devil. We do a thing called devil presses, where it's taking two dumbbells, doing like a push up, and then swinging them up over your head. Those are called devil presses. They're real if you want to Google them, and they're really tough after a while. And it's like, it really does feel like if the devil is coming after you, or you feel like the devil has gotten you tired, I usually have people do some devil presses so they can feel the weight of what the devil is doing to them.
Whoa.
I think that is great, and they are real, Hallie. You wouldn't know, but yeah, that is a workout term. That
Yeah,
that
it's
we
almost like a
use.
burpee with with dumbbells in your hands.
Right. Yeah, it is. Speaking of the minions,
Yeah, of
I did.
course.
Is there anything about the minions? I've always just kind of been a bit side eye about the minions because they do kind of feel like are they sort of are they were they sort of derived from a demonic? Were the minions kind of modeled after Satan or something? Because they always just seem like they're up to no good and kind of tricksters. And I guess I don't even really know what they are, but they seem a bit like that.
Sure, yeah. They're little yellow pills, basically.
Okay.
They look like a pill, but they're yellow. So I'm sure there's some pills out there that are yellow, but I don't take any supplements. That's the one thing
really?
about the workouts is you just eat more fish. Anyways,
Okay.
Awesome.
yeah, but so these yellow pill type people, some of them have two eyes, some of them have one, but they're
Really?
ultimately there to follow, I guess, a supervillain initially.
Oh.
So yes, is there some demonic basis to them? Sure. If you think about their history, they have a little bit of this. Oh, we do whatever this supervillain wants us to do, but then you realize that they're based out of love, and I think that's the
Really?
thing that I
Cool.
connected with. Obviously, at the time, being 8 years old to 13 years old, and being there, I kind of liked being a bad guy. So
Oh, I see.
I wasn't in, my parents hadn't rescued me yet, so I have yet to take on the last name or the fantastic first name, which I have now. So I was at a different place.
I see.
So looking back, would I do it now? I think I'm too tall. I think since I was 13, I think I grew a good 2 inches. So, cause I am, it's 20 years later. And I think there's, but when I did go to the doctor once with my, adopted parents, and they did say that my, growth plates hadn't fused yet. So I was still going to grow. And then that's why I grew 2 more inches when I was 15. Huge. So
Okay.
yeah, so I'm like a type 410 at this point.
And I guess that explains because I saw you drive it in your truck, and I was kind of like, oh, that's an interesting bumper sticker because it's Calvin. It's, I guess, that little Calvin character, and he's
Sure.
holding a Bible, but he's peeing on a minion.
Yeah, because ultimately it's like that was the past, and you have
I
to
see.
like, leave the past behind and almost feel like your past is not as good as your future is going to be. So piss on it, and I was trying to get this one where it was like Clifford pooping on a minion,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they don't make that. Would have to be a custom situation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they had a lot of these. They had a lot of the Calvin Bible ones peeing on various things, and I just had to find the minion one and just kind of, do it
Oh,
myself.
now was that two separate decals, or did you?
They
put,
were, yeah.
Okay.
I had to find a minion decal, super easy. I had to
Okay.
find the Calvin with the Bible pissing decal, even easier, and got those two together. Went to Printfx. It's a place where you can get decals, vinyl decals made. Went to Printfx, right there in, I think it was in Columbus. I had to go down to Columbus to get it.
Oh,
Oh, you had to
Um,
drive all the way to Ohio, or
Well, yeah, because I had to, there's not that many people who do really. I try to do, decals myself or cut the vinyl, but it's really hard if you just have an X-Acto knife and not like a machine. So,
right?
because
And I haven't seen a Suzuki Sidekick like yours in years.
to be honest, I got I wanted an SUV, but I wanted it to look like I was the same size as everybody else driving their SUVs.
yes.
So I had to get one.
Yeah, that works.
And they don't make Isuzu Amigos anymore. So I was like,
really?
Oh, that's a shame.
yeah. So
Oh, wow.
I'm not going to get one of those. So I got a Suzuki Sidekick. It's a 96. So it's still holding up. It's I think it was originally an aqua blue. Now that it looks like a sky blue with, sun
Right.
damage
And
and
are those
whatnot.
street legal?
The lights underneath, no, but
Oh, okay.
the car itself, I think, is
Okay.
still legal and drivable. I mean, hey, I gotta get the smog check on it all the time, so it must
I,
be working, right?
I love that. Well, yeah.
Well, Two Jeans, I just wanted to tell you. Wait. Well, Two Jeans, forgive me if this is too personal a question, but the natural shape of my body is kind of like, well, I don't know if they're in vogue anymore, but those M&M characters with the sort of spherical planet-shaped body and two little spindly legs
Well, they're not in
sticking
vogue
out.
anymore, Hallie, because apparently they're all gay.
They're gay.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been shaped like that one M&M who wears the heels, and forgive me if this is too personal a question, but I've had 3 breast reductions. They keep coming back,
Hallie.
and with a sizable chest like this, I'm just always gonna look real round. How can I get the shape of my body to look more athletic?
Wow. That's not too personal of a question. That's a great question to ask.
Oh, thank you.
You can almost never get too personal when you're thinking about personal training.
Good point.
So when it comes to your specific body and that kind of M&M shape, I believe you mean the green M&M.
Yeah.
It's really hard to not look at other, let's say, candies and want that candy body, right?
Yeah,
Red Vine or
Yeah, I was gonna say a Twizzler. I'd kill
Twizzler.
to be a Twizzler shape.
Sure. But your body is your body. You need to accept it. And guess what? Candy is delicious.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? M&Ms are
good-
kind of my favorite.
M&Ms are fantastic. So be an M&M for now, but also you might want to focus in on your diet, because mainly when people are talking about, oh, I want to spot reduce, it's usually a diet situation. Now, you getting a breast reduction, but they keep coming back is maybe something you need to talk to a doctor about, because that could possibly not be your breasts, and it's something else that keeps growing back on your body. I'm not a doctor. I've never wanted to be one, just because it's like, it's not my
I'm going
place.
to be honest. You sound like one. I like it.
Oh.
And I do need to look at putting a few more greens in my diet. My problem is I love the white foods. I do the fettuccine Alfredo, the English muffins, the sourdough toasts, the breadsticks. I love it all. I really do. I'll even
Jesus survived on some carbs. It was 2 things. It was bread and fish.
That's
fish.
right.
Okay.
Bread and fish. So if you
some
can
fish.
focus some bread and fish,
Okay.
God, you'll be in a good place.
Okay. I
You'll be
love
in a
fish
great
and
place.
chips. I love a basket of fish and chips.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, and I did want to, speaking of body types and just our abilities, because God gives us certain abilities, doesn't he? And I think one of the abilities that obviously he gave me, he obviously gave you,
Sure.
these high performance athletic maneuvers. I did want to circle back to the cross lift that I've seen a lot of people doing, which seems like a full Olympic lift with a sizable cross.
Oh yeah.
And have you had any injuries there? People not quite being able to do it, because that appears to be a few 100 pounds at least.
Sure. Well, I mean, there's various weights to the crosses. I have a whole stack of different crosses of different levels for people. Usually I try to get people started on the PVC pipe version of the cross, just so they can get used to the movement, get it over their head, be able to get into a full squat before they get it all the way up over their head and then back onto their shoulders, right? Because eventually it is a shoulder carry. And when you do the cross lift, you lift it up over your head, it lands onto your shoulders, and then you go for a walk. And as you go for a walk, the other 12 of you will be throwing tomatoes and various other fruits at you. And it is your job, and I call it out, for you to fall 3 times. And you need to be able to fall with that weight on your back and still get up again 3 times. So, does it take some time to get there? Yeah. And we like to deal with with that kind of weight, lighter at first, because more than the weight, the shame is
Yep.
what usually gets people falling
Really?
down, getting the tomatoes thrown at them, and
Okay.
the various vegetables. Usually, it's vegetables that we are encouraging you to eventually eat, but at this point, we understand that they feel like they're the enemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe it is best for us to go ahead and throw them at you. You fall a few times, and then as you get up, next time you go through that, we got like a 10-pounder. We got a 25-pound one. We have a 45-pound one, and then we start stacking the plates on.
And what are the plates made of?
Yeah, it's just it's bumper plates that are hung on nails. Going the other way, so they're not into your hands; they're on the other side of the crosses, and they're bumper plates so that we're not going to break the weights or break the cross when it drops, or if you drop the cross or whatnot.
Yeah.
But we put on like 10 pounds there, 25 or 45, a full plate on there, and we can stack it up. I mean, I'm walking around. Honestly, I like to walk around with like a good, 225 on these walks.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Getting back up after the falls, really tough. But I try to push through. And also, if I need some encouragement, I usually open my mouth to catch some of the tomatoes, and
that's fantastic. I actually went to Manifest CrossFit for a little while, and that was something that always would break people. Is you would not be able to finish the water, whatever, and they would call you the P word, or shout the P word at you.
Sure.
That just people couldn't handle it.
Well,
what would Gray think the P word is? Well, ask me what the P word is.
oh, what is the P word?
Oh, poser.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, pretender.
Yeah. Well, we don't use that word, poser or pretender, because honestly, we all are to who we look up to. So we're trying to be like them. So are we? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, we're trying to be like Jesus. So if that makes me a hypocrite, so be it. I'm trying to be like him. Now, I'm not questioning your authority to Genes, not at all. But I did just want to check in about the Jacob's ladder. When Jacob wrestled the angel, you've crafted a wrestling workout. I understand it's for men only and whatnot, because it wouldn't be appropriate for a gal and a guy to be wriggling around on the floor like that. But sometimes when I watch these fellas really go into town in these wrestling positions, I wonder, how do you prevent them from having any ideas about, well, this is what it feels like to be in the arms of a fella. Maybe I'm going to use this wrestle time to explore a gentleman's body. How do you keep it from being a gay way exercise?
I'm not going to lie to you. It happens. It happens.
No.
Just because we're in this world today, we have to deal with it every once in a while.
And some people want,
isn't it? Yeah, people want to wrestle for longer, and I'm like, you can't want to do this for this long.
Yes,
and they do. And at those moments, you have to take a step back and realize that everybody's still learning.
Yeah,
everybody's still trying to be excited about working out, and all I can do in that moment is go, hey, let's keep this about fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to do. Now, have I seen two of those gentlemen kiss before? Sure.
Oh no, agreed.
Have they come back? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are they strong? Unfortunately, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
real strong guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Real strong guys. But hey, we'll see.
I know. Yeah. Sorry.
Because they'll also be the ones that are also walking the furthest or sprinting the furthest on the water. They're also the guys who are able to carry the heaviest weight. So if they are encouraging the other people at this point, I'm like, let us not be the ones to judge.
Well, yeah.
But I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I know. And only God knows a man's heart. But I'll tell you, when I look at that kind of wrestling, I think, It's a lot of touching. It's a lot of touching and touching all over the place: an ankle, a neck, an ear, a wrist, a hip bone. And I just think, you know what? I've been married to my husband, Lance Labont, for decades. And I don't think we've touched that much if you added up 2 decades worth of touching.
Sure. I hear you. I'll be honest. A man's hip bone is soft. You'd think it'd be hard. You'd think it'd be hard with all the workouts, but it's like that's a little tenderoni place.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we got it. I think though I was just going to maybe throw one call back in, maybe back to the adoption stuff of like, because you're how old? 33 or 33, something?
Yeah,
you're 33. I don't know. Does he still like? Maybe he still lives at home or something. Like,
sure,
I didn't know
yeah.
if there was like a way to get to that of just
Like,
being.
are you married?
Yeah, maybe I'll ask if you're married, and you could just be like, no, I'm still living with the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, that is great. Well, are you married?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no. I'm perfectly happy, perfectly single, and my folks are still in the same house as me, or I'm in the same house as
wow.
my parents, and and we praise the Lord together, and and I go off and do my own thing. It's funny. I live in the basement, and the ceiling of the basement is only 8 feet.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Which for some people is like low, but I'm like, wow, 8 feet. That gives me enough room to do some overhead presses.
Awesome.
Yeah. Cause I'm again, a solid 4'10".